Good evening everyone, Ragewood here, back with another Godforge video, and today is a great day. Not just because our Fateless merch arrived from the Christmas Carol concert and the poker tournament that I won actually, so that showed up, which is great. But it is also great because this is a CC Leaks video. Yes, our care package arrived yesterday, and there's some really cool stuff in there. However, because it is bigger than previous ones that we have had, I'm going to be splitting this video into two parts, okay? So, this first part will come out on the first time that we are allowed to release it, and then the second part will come out a week later. So when I release that a week later, you might have already seen the bit that we're going to go through, but you won't have seen my take on it. Do come back and watch that. Anyway, we're going to take a look at part one, which is the hero. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, part one, we're going to be doing this a little out of order, this art attack, and I'm not going to show you some of it as well. But this is what we were received, along with a few other little bits and bobs. So, we're going to just, hopefully if I've done this right, push the arrow, and bang! Here we go, this is number one. So this is Asag. Now, we have seen Asag before. We saw him on day two, I think it was. They did that sort of clay modelling stuff. This is day 16 where we're seeing the textures put in place. Now, he is only a rare hero, but my god, does he look cool. So, obviously he is sort of a giant from Nilfheim. And if you don't know where Nilfheim is, it's sort of like the Land of Fire. Surtur ruled there, played a big part in Ragnarok. So yeah, whilst this guy might personally not be a big deal, the fact that these characters are in the game is pretty cool. I've given a big spiel sort of on my thoughts on it before, but now it's actually coming together, and I love the sort of lava just coming through the face there. That looks really cool, and as mentioned in a previous video done by the man, they did use JKG Brandon's body here for inspiration. So, you know, I'm glad that he's getting the true recognition he deserves in Asag here, but yeah, love the design here, and probably one of the rares that I think is going to look the coolest in the game, especially when VFX come in, and if they have sort of like, I don't know how to describe it, like flare-ups. Now, we saw Brian do some VFX on Guan Yu with the whole Radiance, so seeing that sort of wispy fire sort of coming out of his chest, I think will look really cool. They probably won't go into too much detail because he is a rare. So the next slide is Perrin. Now, we have seen Perrin before, but in the last version of Perrin, the general motif from the team is they wanted him to look more like this guy. And so Dane did a line drawing saying that they wanted various weapons and things like that all over him. And this is obviously what they have come back with. So he's obviously got this large broadsword sort of on his back, which is funny because in truth they never did that, because trying to pull out a massive sort of like Zwei handler from behind you, you could never get it done. That's why they were always on your side. But nevertheless, he is armed and he is ready for battle. I do like the axe here and the sword. They've got here, they're going to sort of give bluish lights, sort of VFX. Now, he was a god of sort of thunder, or associated with thunder. And it's funny, one of the questions I didn't get to ask the Fateless team during my podcast was, with so many pantheons all having a god of thunder and all having like a god of fire, you know, there's so much intertwining there. How do they go about, you know, making sure that everyone is different and it's not just the same everywhere? For example, are they going to give Thor the same sort of bluish texture to the weapons when he's powered up or not? And I imagine that's probably a really difficult idea to make sure that everything is unique. But either way, I think he looks wicked. This bluish thing, or sort of lightning sort of arcing across his chest, does remind me of Thor in one of the Avengers films when I forget Thanos' army first comes down to Black Panther. You know the one that I mean. He sort of gives you that kind of vibe. Looking really good again, and I can't wait to see him in 3D. So we've skipped a couple of slides here, and we're now back to Kate Sith. And Kate Sith is sort of like a cat the size of a dog. It's very much like a Celtic myth. Said to be like a witch, I think, as well, somewhere along those lines. Again, I did do a bit of a deep dive, but the first time we saw her in, I say her, could be he, who knows, but a really cool looking creature that we've got here. No doubt this was in Brian's creature folder from the last podcast that we didn't get to see because there was probably too much juicy stuff in there. But again, another cool character look that we've got here. Again, I'm going to love the sort of the bluish hue emanating from this character here. Can't imagine it's going to be anything too out there. I think this is really going to be an uncommon or a rare, somewhere around there. But a different body type first thing. You know, we all love Fellhound in Raid. Maybe this is the Fellhound. Maybe this is our 5-second farmer that, you know, has no other use in the game, but can farm the game really fast. That would be an amazing sort of callback. But we'll wait and see what this chick does. So next up we have a black and white image of probably like early concept design of something. And the question is, what is that something? So I believe it to be some sort of banshee. You know, we've seen Onryo, I can't remember which way around it is, for Japan, where she's got that sort of spirited, sort of ghostly look. But to me, this attire doesn't look Oriental or Asian in any kind. It looks more like medieval England garbs, if you will. I say England, Britain. So taking that into consideration, you know, I think we're possibly looking at Cleaner. Cleaner was a queen of banshees in an Irish myth, Irish mythology. I think she turned her sister into a cat, something like that. But that is one avenue it could be. Could also possibly be the Morrigan. I think that is likely less so. And I think it's probably more, say, likely to be sort of Cleaner. That's the English saying of a name, actually. If I give me 2 seconds. Yeah, so the Irish sort of version of it is like Cleodna, Cliodhna. It's to do with the Tuatha de Danann, but so Cleaner is just an easier English sort of terminology for it. But yeah, certainly an interesting one. Not much given away here. We do see the dagger protruding, though, in the images. Similar to sort of Wither the Crown, it's very prominent, clearly there. So it might not be Cleaner, you know, some sort of ritual dagger with a ghost head on it. Yeah, I might be good at guessing, but I'm not that great. So we'll see. I could be totally wrong, but at a glance, I think that's what we're looking at here. And, you know, out of all of them, I think C is my favourite. I think that's the one I like the most. They might have already decided this. This could be something from months ago that they have moved so far on. Or it could be something they've just done and they're looking for feedback. But personally, C would be my option here for whoever it is. But still a cool looking hero. Next up, it's everyone's favourite wizard that isn't Harry Potter. It's Merlin. Yes, that's right. Merlin. Merlin is back. He has been made in 3D and looking wonderful, I must say. again, I don't know if this has just been done recently or whether it was done a while ago and they're now only giving it to us. But I love the 3D here. I think he looks so cool. Again, more of that druidic vibe rather than sort of the Merlin with the pointy hat and the long robe that you're used to seeing. And just looks wicked. The lantern's in there. He's got his alchemy supplies, his scrolls, ritual knife there. Looking awesome. And that's not the only picture or image that we have of him. We then come out here. We can see his staff with his toad looking really cool there. I might just use that as the thumbnail, see how many people remember who it is. Perched on his book just there. You've got the amethyst, I think amethysts are purple at the bottom. The entwining wood up here, up to the dragon scale. Yeah, really, really cool. And we have been given a couple of videos, so we'll also look at those quickly. Here we are. Here we have the toad and the staff. Again, looking awesome. I think he's so cool. I'd have him as a mascot. I actually had the same bodily complex as this guy 6 weeks ago. I love it. Looks so good. Yeah, we'll quickly take a look at Merlin now in sort of regular size. So, looking less like he's gained weight over Christmas. Yeah, really cool. I do love sort of the level of detail on the head trunk, headpiece at the top there. Yeah, just looking wicked. Love it, love it, love it, love it. But now the exciting part. So I did a video just before Christmas talking about Kajiki gods I would like to see, and I would have been shocked if none of them were there. But the last time we mentioned it or we saw it, Izanami had just been revealed, which sort of more or less confirmed we would see this guy as well, and he is Izanagi. So this is the exploration, so this isn't the final 2D concept, this is just some things that they are looking at. Now, who is Izanagi? He is one half of the 7th generation of primordial deities or creator beings in the sort of Kojiki legend. Himself and Izanami both made the world. Sort of, these are too long, didn't read. Okay. The way they did that, like, they had a jeweled spear, so we're sort of jumping ahead, but essentially I would imagine that will also be his weapon. We don't see a weapon here, but a jeweled spear would make sense, that they used to sort of turn this oily, slick water into like a land, basically, and then populate it from there and all that kind of stuff. I'm glossing over some things, but you get the idea. So he is here, and they've hit some really nice tropes, which I like as well. A kakimono painting is a traditional sort of wall scroll in Japan, calligraphy, sort of what they did back in the old days. And they've given him clothing based on 4 elements. So water, so they've got this gourd here. The Takibana is a river, which Izanagi cleansed himself in when he left the Yomi, which is an underworld. And it was there that he gave birth to the 3 special children. One from his left eye, one from his right eye, one from his nose, which is great. Anyway, cloud patterns. Yeah, sort of Sky Lords, the fire sun disk. I don't remember a sun disk anywhere in his lore, but it's been a while since I've looked at it in truth. But looks really cool. If the problem with some of these 2D concepts is once they get to 3D, it doesn't look quite as alive. But if they can get, especially like this sort of cloud or these sort of paintings and things in there, will look absolutely wicked. So they've got the Awakihara plant just there. He's got his little katana, looking awesome. I can't quite read this up here. Note for whoever. This is how the hunting cloth wraps around his body. Pretty similar to... Oh, that's definitely someone that they don't want us to see. Similar to Yan Wang, maybe? As I'll change a little, but the shape... Something to do with referencing him. Looks like the Chinese god that we've seen. But the back here looks gorgeous as well. It looks like you've got the herons there as well. And yeah, just a stunning, stunning piece here. Now let's go take a look at some of the more other well, take a look at some of the other pictures that we have for him. So this is the high poly for him, okay. Now, as we can see, as it's come to high poly, we are missing a couple of things. Now, I don't know if it's been purposefully done or not. Firstly, we've lost sort of like the cranes on the back here, as you can see, and the sunrise. That sort of what you all know Japan to be the sort of the red circle of the sun. That appears to have gone as well. Whether it will come back, I don't know. But it is a shame that those are missing. But I get it. Maybe if he's wearing like a cape or something over the top, like this, you won't see it. So maybe that's why. But yeah, pity that that's gone. Maybe they'll put the paintings here as well on it at the end. I don't know. Kept the gourd though. The sash might also be a VFX item as well, sort of swirling around. But looking good. Looking very nice here. And then the last image, that is a sexy man right there, isn't it? I don't swing for that team, but you got to admit, that does look pretty. Yeah. Really, really cool looking hero. And confirmation that we have both Izanami and Izanagi in the game now. We're just waiting on the 3 children officially, although I do think we've already seen Tsukuyomi already. So that just leaves Susanoo and Amaterasu left to go. And that is it for part 1. So next week in the part 2, we will be looking at this stuff that wasn't necessarily heroes. I'm not going to spoil it now, even though you will probably know by the time that part 2 comes out exactly what we're looking at. But there's certainly a lot more for me to dive into on that one. So to prevent this from being too long, we are going to call it there. So thank you so much for watching. Take care, look after yourselves, work hard, but as always, play harder, and I'll see you in another one soon. Cheers.